Have you ever witnessed a dream crumble in real time? Because that's exactly what's happening across California right now. The Golden State, once the untouchable beacon of American prosperity, is watching its housing market collapse under the weight of crushing realities that nobody saw coming. Picture this: families walking into million-dollar open houses, running the numbers on their phones, and quietly slipping out the back door without saying a word. That's the new California story. Where bidding wars once ruled, hesitation now reigns supreme. Where dreams once flourished, cold feet have become the norm. Tonight, we're diving deep into the 10 California cities where homebuyers are literally running for the hills in 2025. These aren't just market corrections or temporary setbacks. These are complete psychological shifts where the very idea of homeownership has gone from inevitable to impossible, from dream to nightmare. But before we shatter some illusions, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you're going to want to stay ahead of what's coming next in America's housing crisis. Let's start with number 10, Ventura. Now, Ventura used to be the smart money play. While everyone else was fighting over scraps in Malibu and Santa Barbara, savvy buyers discovered this coastal gem that offered the same Pacific views at half the price. The kind of place where you could still grab a decent house without selling your firstborn child. But here's what happened. That affordable coastal lifestyle just got expensive real fast. We're talking about median home prices that have rocketed past what any normal person in Ventura actually earns. You've got teachers, firefighters, small business owners, the backbone of any community, and they're looking at homes that cost 8, 9, 10 times their annual salary. And that's before the insurance companies started playing games. See, being on the coast used to be a selling point. Now it's a liability. Flood risks are climbing, wildfire zones are expanding, and insurance companies are either charging astronomical rates or just walking away entirely. Imagine finding your dream home, getting approved for the mortgage, then discovering your insurance will cost more per month than most people's rent. The job market tells another brutal story. Ventura's economy runs on tourism and local services, not exactly the kind of industries that can support million-dollar mortgages. Meanwhile, the tech workers and high earners who used to commute here from LA are moving to Texas and Arizona instead. The migration pipeline has reversed, and suddenly sellers are chasing buyers who simply don't exist anymore. Moving to number 9, Oakland. Oakland breaks your heart because it represents everything that went wrong with the California dream. For decades, this was the working person's gateway to the Bay Area. You couldn't afford San Francisco? Oakland had your back. Same energy, same opportunity, fraction of the cost. Except that fraction isn't so small anymore. Even with all the recent price drops, the median home in Oakland is still completely out of reach for the people who actually live and work there. The tech salaries that once justified these prices, they're disappearing faster than morning fog over the Bay Bridge. But here's the killer. It's not just about money anymore. Oakland is dealing with a perception crisis that's scaring off buyers who might otherwise stretch their budgets. Property crime headlines, safety concerns, the general feeling that your investment might not be safe. These psychological factors are just as powerful as any mortgage calculator. Then you've got the investor exodus. For years, Oakland's real estate market was propped up by outside money. People buying to flip, buying to rent, buying as investment vehicles. With interest rates crushing returns and rent growth stagnating, those investors have vanished. What's left behind is a market desperately seeking buyers who can no longer afford to play. Number 8 brings us to Santa Cruz. If you've ever driven through Santa Cruz, you understand the appeal instantly. Surf culture, university town vibes, that laid-back coastal energy that makes you want to slow down and breathe deeper. It's the kind of place people dream about retiring to or raising kids in. But dreams don't pay mortgages, and Santa Cruz has some of the worst income-to-housing cost ratios in the entire state. This is a town full of students, service workers, artists, retirees, good people living good lives, but not exactly the demographic that can swing seven-figure home purchases. The insurance situation here is particularly brutal. You've got coastal flooding risks, cliff erosion problems, and wildfire threats creeping down from the mountains. Insurance companies are hitting potential buyers with quotes that would make your eyes water. We're talking about monthly premiums that could fund a nice vacation every single month. And here's the twist that nobody saw coming. The remote work boom that temporarily saved Santa Cruz is now killing it. During the pandemic, Bay Area workers fled to the coast, bringing their tech salaries and driving up demand. But return-to-office policies are pulling those same buyers back to Silicon Valley, leaving Santa Cruz with inflated prices and no one left who can afford them. Number 7 is Santa Barbara, and this one stings because we're talking about California's crown jewel. Mediterranean architecture, perfect weather, the kind of lifestyle that screams success and sophistication. For decades, Santa Barbara represented the absolute pinnacle of California living. But even paradise has its limits, and Santa Barbara has hit the wall hard. The ultra-luxury market that drove this city has completely stalled out. Wealthy buyers who used to snap up second and third homes here are now sitting on the sidelines, watching and waiting as uncertainty grips even the highest end of the market. The insurance crisis is particularly devastating in Santa Barbara's hillside neighborhoods. Some insurers have simply abandoned entire zip codes, leaving homeowners scrambling for coverage at any price. For buyers, this means factoring insurance costs that can easily run 5 figures annually into their purchase decisions. But perhaps most telling is the cultural shift happening here. Santa Barbara built its reputation on exclusivity, on being the place where only the truly successful could afford to live. Now that exclusivity is backfiring as even wealthy buyers question whether any market is worth the risk in today's environment. Number 6 is Laguna Niguel, and this represents everything that's wrong with Orange County's suburban dream. This used to be the place where families could have it all: great schools, safe neighborhoods, reasonable commutes to good jobs, all wrapped up in that Southern California lifestyle package. The math just doesn't work anymore. Median home prices have climbed so far above median incomes that even dual-income professional families are walking away from deals. These are doctors, lawyers, engineers, people who should theoretically be able to afford nice homes in nice neighborhoods, and they're getting priced out. The insurance situation adds insult to injury. Wildfire zones keep expanding, flood risks keep growing, and insurance companies keep raising rates. Buyers show up ready to make offers, then get insurance quotes that kill deals on the spot. But here's what's really crushing Laguna Niguel: oversupply. Developers kept building through the boom years, and now all those new homes are sitting on the market with no buyers. For potential purchasers, this creates a terrible psychology. Why buy today when prices might be lower next month? Number 5 is Santa Clarita, the poster child for suburban sprawl gone wrong. This was supposed to be the answer to LA's housing crisis. Drive a little further out, get more house for your money, still have access to city jobs and opportunities. Except now those commutes are costing a fortune in both time and gas money. Families are realizing that the extra square footage isn't worth the extra hours stuck in traffic or the extra hundreds of dollars they're spending on fuel every month. New construction hasn't slowed down, even as demand has cratered. Developers are still flooding the market with new supply, betting on demand that simply isn't there anymore. The result is neighborhoods full of unsold homes and price cuts that signal to everyone that this market is in trouble. The lifestyle calculation that once made Santa Clarita attractive has completely flipped. What used to feel like getting more for your money now feels like paying premium prices for the privilege of living far from everything that matters. Number 4 is Palm Springs, and this one's particularly sad because it represents the death of the second home market. Palm Springs built its entire economy around being the desert playground for wealthy Angelenos, the place you'd go to escape, relax, and enjoy year-round sunshine. But that desert climate is now working against the city. Summers are becoming unbearably hot, with temperatures reaching levels that make year-round living genuinely dangerous for older residents. The same climate that once attracted retirees is now scaring them away. The second home market has completely collapsed under high interest rates, and economic uncertainty. Vacation buyers have vanished, and retirees are thinking twice before sinking their savings into a market that seems to be in permanent decline. Tourism, the economic lifeblood of Palm Springs, is struggling as travelers choose cheaper alternatives or destinations less impacted by extreme weather. Without that constant flow of visitor money, local businesses suffer, property values stagnate, and the entire economic ecosystem starts breaking down. Water concerns and skyrocketing utility costs add another layer of worry. Air conditioning bills that can run thousands of dollars per month during summer, combined with questions about long-term water availability, make even wealthy buyers think twice about desert living. Number 3 is Los Angeles, and this is where the California dream officially dies. LA used to be the place where anything was possible, where you could chase your dreams, build a career, and eventually afford a piece of the American dream. Today, the median home in LA costs more than 10 times the median household income. That's not a housing market. That's a mathematical impossibility for ordinary families. The people who make the city run, teachers, firefighters, nurses, small business owners, have been completely priced out of their own communities. The insurance crisis is particularly severe in LA's hillside neighborhoods, where wildfire risk meets multi-million-dollar property values. Coastal areas face flood concerns, and throughout the metro area, insurers are either fleeing or charging premiums that can easily double a family's monthly housing costs. Hollywood's struggles, tech layoffs, and general economic uncertainty mean even high-earning residents are questioning whether they can afford to stay. The entertainment industry that once provided stable, well-paying jobs is increasingly unreliable, leaving families afraid to commit to 30-year mortgages in an uncertain economy. The migration trends tell the real story. Families are leaving LA in record numbers, seeking affordability in states like Texas, Arizona, and Nevada. What's left behind is a market where hesitation has replaced ambition, where cold feet have become the norm rather than the exception. Number 2 is San Diego, once one of California's most stable and desirable markets. Perfect weather, beautiful coastline, strong military presence, thriving biotech industry. San Diego had everything going for it. But even San Diego's strengths are proving inadequate against the current crisis. Wages in biotech and defense aren't keeping pace with housing costs that have spiraled completely out of control. Military families, traditionally a stable base of demand, are facing uncertainty as defense budgets tighten and career stability becomes less guaranteed. Coastal flood risks and wildfire threats are driving insurance costs through the roof, adding thousands of dollars annually to the cost of homeownership. For military families on fixed incomes or young professionals just starting their careers, these additional costs are often the factor that makes homeownership impossible. The inventory situation tells a story of declining confidence. Homes are sitting on the market longer, price cuts are becoming common, and the bidding wars that once defined San Diego's market have been replaced by negotiations where sellers hold less and less leverage. And our number 1 worst city for homebuyers in 2025, San Francisco. This is the most dramatic fall from grace in California real estate history. San Francisco used to be the undisputed champion of American housing markets, the place where tech wealth met architectural beauty, where Victorian homes sold in bidding wars, where even the smallest apartments commanded premium prices. The tech layoffs have absolutely devastated demand. The guaranteed 6-figure salaries that once justified million-dollar condos have evaporated, leaving the market without its primary source of buyers. Downtown San Francisco remains a ghost town, with empty office buildings and shuttered businesses creating an apocalyptic atmosphere that scares away potential residents. Even with significant price drops, San Francisco remains mathematically unaffordable for most families. The cold feet aren't about hesitation. They're about buyers realizing that homeownership here is simply impossible unless you're in the top 1% of income earners. The investor exodus is perhaps most telling. Venture capital money that once propped up the rental market has fled to other opportunities, leaving property owners with vacant units and no path to profitability. The wealth that once made San Francisco's housing market bulletproof has moved on to other markets, other opportunities, other cities. Migration trends confirm what everyone can see. Families are abandoning San Francisco in droves, leaving behind empty homes and a city that feels like it's lost its essential energy. The innovation, optimism, and relentless demand that once defined San Francisco have been replaced by caution, uncertainty, and exodus. What we're witnessing across California isn't just a market correction, it's a complete psychological shift. The state that once represented opportunity and prosperity now symbolizes unaffordable housing, climate risk, and economic uncertainty. From Ventura's crumbling coastal dream to San Francisco's tech-fueled collapse, buyers across California are making the same calculation. The risks are too high, the costs too steep, and the future too uncertain to justify the gamble of homeownership. The California dream isn't just expensive anymore, it's dangerous. And in 2025, cold feet aren't a temporary condition. They're a survival instinct in a market that's lost its mind. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. The housing crisis in California is just the beginning of a much larger story unfolding across America, and you're going to want to stay ahead of what comes next. Because in today's market, information isn't just power, it's protection. Thanks for watching, and remember, in real estate, as in life, sometimes the smartest move is knowing when not to move at all.